Alright, well here we are in their stored habitat. Pulled them out, changed the oil, gave them all a quick hose down with the power washer, and I'll give you my thoughts and my opinions and my feelings about each one of these different mowers. They are not the same. They are not in the same category, but they both do the same thing. Let's cut the grass. Which one do I like better? Which one does it better? Stick around. Find out. Okay, we'll call this the roughly 1,000 hour. We're only 9:07 on the clock. Hours. I believe this is a 2008 model. I really truly don't know. I was here when I took over at the camp. It's a Hustler FasTrak Super Duty 60-inch Kawasaki, 25 horse, carbureted, manual choke. Pretty straightforward rig here. Very simple, very dependable, and very tough built. Heavy gauge steel on everything. I mean, you can see these little rollover wheels here. They're even bent, probably mainly from getting snagged on things, not from actually tipping backwards. Deck is very heavy duty. You can see after 900 hours, this outer lip about wore out. If we were going to keep this and keep servicing it, probably would come a point where we'd replace the deck. I've replaced numerous spindles, belts, blades, lots of blades. They get replaced pretty regularly. The anti-scalp wheels get replaced quite a bit. See, I've got one here. Needs replaced. Actually, I don't know that I could tighten it up, but it looks like it. Sorry, this anti-scalp wheel here. I don't know. I might be able to tighten it up. I just have to get a wrench on there and see if I got any threads left, or come back off and stick some washers on there. That would probably bring that scalp wheel around. I've got them on the lowest setting because some of my employees use this, or I guess technically the highest setting for the deck. So there's as lower a chance as possible of scalping the grass. Deck's very easy to work on. All the controls are manual. So here's the deck height, and it's got the little guide here of how many inches, 1.5 up through 4 inches, and then in the travel position, it's at 4.5 inches, which you lock this thing in that notch there in that bar. That's your travel position. Controls are extremely easy, very simple. Arms out is park. That's how you start it. You pull the arms in, and that's how you release the parking brake and go. It's very straightforward. Push it forward to start moving, pull it back to go back. Pretty standard. Battery underneath. Put these little contactors covers back on here. I've had to replace this start solenoid before a couple times, maybe. I don't know. Seat sensors. The seat has been replaced. It's not the original seat. The original seat actually had armrests as well. That seat's gone. I lost the cap to the hydro tank, so that's an old strawberry jelly, sugar-free, featherweight fruit spread. Yeah, hydros, still the original hydros. I believe they've been serviced once or twice since I've had it, so probably every few hundred hours I get it serviced. Battery, the controls. I'm trying to remember, have I had these? I think I've had to have these, like these bushings and stuff in here rebuilt, because it was just getting so worn out that these parking brake sensors down here wouldn't trigger. And so, yeah, it's been worked on pretty extensively. Got a nice big fuel filter, oversized fuel filter, electric start, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's that mid-size, low-end commercial grade. Back in the day when this was built, I think this was probably sold as like a small ranch mower. Maybe some introductory commercial grade stuff. Probably the best thing going for it, it's got dual tanks. Anything in this line without the rollover, see if you know it doesn't have the rollover bar. Anything nowadays, if you want dual tanks, it's gonna have the rollover bar. This thing is super stable. You'll slide down an embankment before you even come close to tipping over. You know, it maybe get a little light on the nose if you're going uphill. But, you know, it's never popped back on me, never tipped over on me. Like I said, it'll slide. These turf tires, they grip good, but I mean, they're gonna slip before you ever get into anything too steep. So just serviced it, changed the oil, gave it a good bath. The belt's in good shape. The blades are probably okay. I may look at them later on and sharpen them after we mow a couple times, get everything broken in, see if there's any spindles that need replaced. And then probably replace some blades if we need to replace some spindles. So, yep, the weakest point, probably the thing I've had to replace the most, is this little swing arm attachment here. It's pretty mild steel, and it usually ends up breaking up here, right at the end of that bracing. I've had these arms break so many times. You can still run it, you can still mow without it. The deck just kind of wobbles a little more. It really just kind of stabilizes the deck forward to backward and side to side. It does all of that. That's why it's triangulated. So it's the main thing that supports the deck and keeps it from just kind of wobbling all over. It'll still mow with those chains are bearing the load of the deck, and then those arms, they're the ones that are just keeping the deck centered and located. And so that's about it. Other than that, been a great mower. It does really good, does everything we need it to. And it's a great introductory mower. If I've got college kids or something working for me that have never really ran a zero turn before, super easy to operate and very controllable. At top speed mows at like only 5 or 6 miles an hour, so it's not the fastest, it's not the most fuel efficient, but it gets the job done and does the job really well. It's been running, so it's nice and warm, but I'll just show you how easily it starts up. This old carbureted Kawasaki. What am I looking at here? What am I not? We got an arm not all the way down. Yep, there we go. That was probably it. Nope. Huh. Weird. Huh. That's funny. I just called it Mr. Reliable, and I don't think I need to be sitting on the seat to start it. Never have before. Give it a shot. No? Figured out what it was. This wire on the start itself, the signal wire was popped off. Starts right up. Okay, the other mower we've got here in our fleet is this Gravely ProTurn460. So you guys can see ProTurn460. It's got a lot of things that I like, a lot of things that are good, and then one thing that's not so good that has gotten a lot better. So why don't we start with the negative? The thing that has been the most difficult part of the journey with this thing is that for whatever reason, I need to get my power washer back in here and hose off the top. Anyways, for whatever reason, we've had trouble with this, and nothing like not build quality or anything like that, but just the fuel injection. So if you notice, 825V EFI, this is a fuel injected 825cc or 825cc V-twin fuel injected Yamaha engine. All that sounds great. You'd think, awesome. Yamaha, small engines, V-twin, fuel injection, what could go wrong? Well, I don't know what system they used or if they came up with something brand new for this, but it was a long road before we finally, and now it's at a spot where it's very good. For a long time, it was a very frustrating mower, just because the way that it was start up, basically cold start, was extremely difficult. You would start it up cold and it was very clearly running on one cylinder, just chugging, chug, 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 chug. And then it would take a while until everything heated up, warmed up, and then finally all of a sudden it would clear up. It would clear up and you'd be running on 2 cylinders and you'd be good to go. But it would take, no exaggeration, anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes of chugging on one cylinder, just letting it idle or trying to idle on one cylinder before it would clear up, before it would warm up, before anything would release or out. Anyways, took it to the shop a couple times. The dealer, we tried changing the plugs, we tried changing the gas, we tried the fuel filters, tried a lot of the easy stuff. I think they replaced the O2 sensor because, again, fuel injected, it's got an O2 sensor in the exhaust. Tried several attempts at that, never really worked. We tried running premium gas, that didn't work. And I think it was just because it was so new. There's not very many of these that were made, if I understand correctly. Not many of these mowers came out with this engine. It's a 36 horsepower, so it's a beefy engine, and it's got a lot of power when it's running right. It just took a long time to figure out what it was, and we finally figured out what it was. And I thought it was maybe in the brain, in the ECU, but it was down here. It's hard to kind of see, but you see that yellow connector right there? That's a high pressure fuel pump. So it's got a high pressure fuel pump, and then it's got the conventional low pressure fuel pump that Kawasaki has. So it was that thing had failed within 50 hours of use. It had failed, and what it ended up doing was ruining the injectors as well. And so finally, after some research and after the dealer doing their own thing, figuring it out, we determined it was the high pressure fuel pump, and we replaced both injectors, both spark plugs. I think we replaced the low pressure pump and the high pressure pump. And ever since then, it's been running flawlessly. And so, unfortunately, I think that little bit of hiccup off the start gave this Yamaha a bad name, gave Gravely a lot of frustration. And I don't think you can get this engine on anything anymore. I think they've gone to all Kawasaki. I even asked my dealer, I was like, look, can we just repower this thing with a Kawasaki and be done with it? Because I was sick of having to, take it to the shop every winter and leave it with him for a month at a time for him to try to figure out what it was, only to not figure it out. So that was the thing that I didn't like. It's fixed and it runs great now. and it's an awesome mower. Now, the things that I have always liked, the things that I absolutely love on this thing are, number one, it does have the air ride seat. And so, well, the key's not on, but anyways, it's got an air ride seat. So it's super bougie, super cushy. It glides nice and it gives you a good ride. Controls on this are a little bit different. The arms on this are not the brakes. The arms stay where they are. There's a separate parking brake over here, so you pull that back for your parking brake, roll it forward to release your parking brake, and then the arm bars just kind of fall in for you to control it that way. Mowing deck, a little more complicated, but not that terrible. You've got your foot lever to raise it and lower it manually, and then you've got this little wheel to dial in your height adjustment. All that works great. Just takes a little bit of getting used to. Good anti-scalp wheels. The service panels are a little easier on this one. They've got the hand thread. You don't have to use a wrench or anything like that to access these. Oh, I do like this service here for the pulleys and the belts. It is a 2-belt deck system here. So you've got one big belt that comes off, does the middle blade and this left-hand blade. And then there's a second smaller belt that's actually a cog belt. And these pulleys, I believe, are cog pulleys as well. No, that's a V pulley. That's a V pulley. So it's just a cog belt. And I think that is designed so that there's this other pulley right here, and you could attach a blower or a mulcher or something like that, bagger, onto it to run it. Because this is a true commercial grade mower. This is different from the Hustler. This is a 100% commercial grade mower. It does have the roll bar. We keep it laid down for when we're working under the trees and stuff like that. If we're ever working on any steep hills, we'll flip it up and make sure it's in place. It does have a seat belt as well. I added these LED pods on the crossbars. They aim out so I can see where I'm mowing in the dark, because sometimes in the summer it's just too hot to mow during the day, and so we mow in the evening. That's just the way it is, and we mow after dark, and it's a whole lot cooler and it's easier to see. You've got a big spot bar or a big light bar on the front to shine out in front, and then we've got 2 of those little pod lights hanging off the side, and they shoot over your shoulder so you can spot where your deck is and where you're turning and that kind of thing. Great mower. The deck is amazing, very tough, very heavy, very rugged. It takes the same size blades as the Hustler. So I run the same blades, and I forget one of the blades, when you buy them from either Gravely or Hustler, I can't remember. Maybe it's the Gravely blades are a little bit thicker. And so I run them on the Hustler as well. And they do excellent, excellent, excellent. Can't remember if I've replaced any spindles on this. This mower only has 300 hours. Is that right? 300 hours? 307 maybe? Only? No, 347. So it is dual tank. One of our fuel gauges is bad. I've got the fuel tank selector right there. Hydro bottles are right there. This does have a release for the seat. So again, very, very similar. Some of my wiring and whatnot is in there. A relay for the lights, and the foot thing is up, so the seat won't roll forward. Okay. I was noticing that battery tie down is kind of a little janky, so we need to give it a couple of turns here, tighten it up. So anyways, this has been a good mower once we figured out what the issues were. Now it's an excellent mower, and it does great. So I love the controls. The hydros are awesome. The seat is awesome. The deck is awesome. This one will mow at like 10 or 11 miles an hour, so this is not a beginner mower. It's a very serious, high-powered, fast mowing mower. And so, anyways, that's that. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here's how this thing should start. Let's see if I can get you a good angle here. Key on, fuel pump, builds pressure. There you go. That's the way it should be. It wasn't that way for a long time. Well, there you have it. Hope you enjoy my quick little review. Well, quick, maybe not too quick, but review on the mowers that we have out here at the camp. They get used. They get used often. They get used every year. They get used quite a bit. So hope that helps. Hope that information helps, especially if you're looking for a used one. You know, if that Yamaha engine has those updates like they did to mine, I wouldn't hesitate getting another one, especially if it has the seat and the deck and those same controls. Everything else about that mower is excellent. I didn't talk about fuel efficiency. That reminded me. So if you would mow everything that we mow, If you did it all on the yellow mower, the Hustler, it would take you 8 to 9 hours, and you would use both tanks. And I think it holds like 4 gallons in each tank, so 8 gallons total. And then the Gravely, you could do it all in about 6 hours, and it holds about the same fuel capacity, but you would use about 6 gallons. So you'd go through 2 full tanks on the Gravely and 8 to 9 hours of seat time. Whereas, the Hustler, excuse me. Hustler, you go through 2 full tanks and 8+ hours of seat time. And then the Gravely, you would get it all done in about 6 hours. And it would only use about 6 gallons, 7 gallons. So save quite a bit of time and quite a bit of fuel when if you only use the Gravely. But a lot of times we've got both mowers running, and we got 2 guys in the seat to get it done. They get everything done in anywhere from 3 hours or plus or minus 30 minutes, depending on how hard they go. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good summer, good mowing season, and enjoy.